Well, here we are again, and as you can see, once again, a young boy's thoughts must turn towards larger hard drives. So yes, it has indeed been far too long since we've had the opportunity to unbox a gorgeous, box-fresh new drive, and happily, since that time has come along, Western Digital have come out with an 8TB version of their red drive. Now, nothing too surprising about that. I mean, you've probably heard about this already, but as I understand it, and you'll see a bit, actually I'll open this up so that you can see it in more detail, but you'll notice that the entire front of the drive is more or less a completely flat moulding. It's not sort of like got its usual breather holes and indentations and things like that. Apparently because the technology behind these drives is that they are helium filled in order to get the all important 8TB capacity. So all good. Let's have a look. Yes, very nice looking drive, as I say, like nice unusual flat front, and say manufactured very recently. This looks like an ideal candidate for filling the yellow space in the Drobo. In terms of price, these drives, looking on the Western Digital website at the moment, they're selling them for about £330 in the UK. Amazon have got them slightly cheaper. I think I paid £275 for this one. And unlike the first video I made a while ago where I basically shucked one of the early Seagate 8TB drives out of their USB case, which led to whole amounts of fun and confusion and mayhem because I hadn't taken account of the fact that those Seagate drives were SMR archive drives. This at least is a proper standalone 8TB hard drive which is designed to be put on anything. We don't need to mucking about taking things out of cases. And indeed Western Digital don't make any hard drives in anything other than the 8TB red. Wait a second. Except this one. Now this is a Western Digital 8TB MyBook. Now, generally speaking, these MyBook USB drives, there's not a lot to them. They're not sort of like super premium in terms of the drives inside, and normally a MyBook USB will contain a Western Digital green drive or something like that. But this is an 8TB drive, and Western Digital don't make green 8TB drives, do they? The other question, of course, is this MyBook is less than £200, so it's substantially cheaper than the standalone red drive. So what's inside this? Well, there is, as they say, only one way to find out, so let's take a look. Thank you for choosing Western Digital. There's more inside, I'm sure there is, but who's interested in anything other than the drive? So we will packaging undone. And as you can see, I mean, obviously, Western Digital have made some 8TB MyBook and MyCloud drives in the past, but those, of course, have been dual drive units. They've had quite obviously two drives in them. This, quite clearly, there's only one drive in it. So let's see. I think we can peel off this lovely anti-static plastic and then see what's inside. Now, I suppose really, if I were a sensible young man, what I would be doing is plugging this into the computer first to make sure it works. But, because obviously a warranty replacement is not going to happen once the box has been broken into little pieces by me trying to undo it. So perhaps we should be ever so slightly cautious and do it the proper way around first. Okay, so we get the USB 3 cable, a rather large power supply, and let's give it a spin. As a famous YouTuber once said, do turn it on, don't take it apart. So let's see if I can find some power sockets. Apologies for the raw shot of my feet there. Actually, what a YouTube commenter the other day referred to as Mr. Hobbit feet, in what I choose to believe is a compliment paid by someone who was doubtless enchanted by my ultramagnetic personality. So let's give it some power. There we go. Where is the socket? There we go. No, wrong way round again. Right, let's see what happens over here. We are looking for some kind of indication that it has seen the drive. Actually, I can feel the drive spinning up. It's starting to make a spinning sound, but I'm not seeing any lights, which is interesting. Perhaps that only happens... Oh yes, there we go. Perhaps it only happens once the computer sees it. looks perfectly okay. And whatever a WD-SES device is, I do not know. I have not come across one of those before, but let's let it do what it wants to. Well, all it's doing over here is flashing its light for some reason. Well, it's taking far too long to search for the SES driver, whatever that is, but at least we can see that the MyBook does appear in Explorer. So, from that we can assume that the drive works, and therefore it is safe to take the sucker to bits. So, over in the kitchen, let's get right on that and see. Well, this all sounds like a fairly straightforward case, but not hearing any signs of where it might come to pieces or not. Let's just experimentally squeeze around with a screwdriver. Maybe? No? This is tricky. How are we going to get in here? Ah, there we go. That sounds more like it. There's obviously some small clips in there somewhere. Okay, sounds more successful. Interestingly, unlike sometimes when I take these things apart, you know if you've gone past one of the clips because you can't get any further, but in this case it does seem you can get a little further through. Now, right, let me get the other side of this off so you can see exactly what we're doing here. Well, this doesn't seem too bad. I think we'll have this open in fairly short order, and there we go. Right. Oops. See a small piece of plastic flying away there. So, okay, that's the SATA to USB board connector. That's pretty standard. You see those in the insides of these Western digital drives. That, of course, is the drive itself. Now, come and have a look at this. As you can see, it's a white label 8TB drive. February 2016. No obvious indication of what class of drive it is, whether it's red or purple or God knows what. As we can see, it is of course made by HGST Japan, which is I believe they've led the way in terms of these drives. So, well, let's see how we'd go about freeing it from its bondage. I think first of all you need to take out the board. That should be not very much trouble. It bends out of the way and pings off, that's fine. What do we got here? There's something there. Oops, let me show you. Something there which is... Oh, there we go. If I can... How do we do this? Oh, there you go, you can see the small tiny piece of broken thing. As we can see, there are basically small rubber grommets keeping the drive held pretty much in mid-air, which I suppose probably prevents vibration and stops it from making too much of a noise. But oh, there we go. It's quite simple. You just easily bend the drive forward and pull it out. Then you undo the... You can just pull that straight off. You can see it connects in there on the SATA. So we just give that a shove. Off it comes. have a odd piece of sort of like black masking tape or something, looks like. Don't quite know. There's a copper line, so perhaps it's EMC or something. And as you can see, that looks like a fairly standard SATA port. So if we get these grommets off, we can see there's what looks like some kind of security bits there, but I'm sure we won't let that stop us. And incidentally, no driver found for whatever the SES device is, but I think we're long past that now. Star point bit, just enough if you give it a shove to get these off. And of course, question number 2, should I take off this sticky tape completely, or should I leave it on? I think I'll be brave and or foolish and take it off. So, the only remaining question is, will it work in the Drobo? Well, it doesn't like the yellow drive at the top. Of course, yellow doesn't mean drive failure. Yellow just means this is the first smallest drive I can see in your array, so that's a good choice to replace with something bigger. So, we'll take it out. So he smoothly removed that from the array, which is now nice and red. Add a drive. Drobo is low on capacity. You must add a drive. So let's add this drive. Let's put it in and see what happens. Ooh. Oops. And of course it helps a lot if you put the drive in the right way round. What a complete idiot. Well, that was embarrassing. Let's make sure that nobody sees that. Perhaps I'll take that out of the video. Okay, so we place the drive in, and hopefully red light turns to a happy flashing green or yellow, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. It takes a few seconds usually for the Drobo to recognise what's going on. You never know, there's still a possibility that it might be completely unhappy with the contents of that drive and may not wish to play about at all, but let's see what happens. And there we go, green and yellow flashing lights indicating that the array is rebuilding. So hopefully shortly, in a certain amount of time, the array will have been rebuilt, and changing that 4TB drive for an 8TB drive will probably give us, perhaps a couple of meg of extra capacity, probably not much more. I seem to remember that was the case the last time we did it. But then again, there's another 4TB drive here, and of course still one spare red, so we might put that in a little bit later. So let's let it get on with the first drive first and see how it goes. Okay, we may be here for quite some time. I'm pretty sure that's overestimation. I certainly hope so. If not, I'll see you this time next week. Okay, that's a little bit more reasonable, not quite so worrying, but as you can see that's going down pretty rapidly, so that's not too bad. In terms of drive orientation, in my defence, these drives have the label upside down. You would normally expect the top of the drive to be there, but of course if you look, it's not. The top of the drive is there, so that's Western Digital's fault, not mine, for being a complete doofus. Well, you can see the capacity has already jumped up a little bit anyway, so that was up from about 900 gig up to about 2.71 terabyte. As I say, that will happen when you put a large drive in a Drobo because of the way that it lays out its data across the drives to make sure that any one drive failing doesn't take out any data. You end up sort of like not necessarily always using all the capacity on a largest hard drive until there are other drives of similar or large capacity as well to go in with it. So hopefully that second red will make a bit more of a difference when that goes in. There is actually dual drive redundancy set up on this Drobo right now, so theoretically I could just pop this disk out and not lose any data, but I'm a bit of an idiot at the best of times, so I'm not going to take that risk. I'm going to let it rebuild everything across the array as it stands at the moment and onto the first new 8TB drive. We'll get the second one in a little bit later. We're going to wait until that's finished first. And of course we always register our drives on westerndigital.com, and as you can see, 1089-day warranty on that. That's what you get for a red drive. And as it turns out, the USB drive also has 724 days left on its warranty. That's it does say a 2-year warranty on those drives, so that's not too bad, although I say in this current condition I imagine that any warranty would be strictly theoretical. And about 24 hours remaining on the data protection, which doesn't seem too bad, so come back tomorrow.